Okay, hello and welcome to another stream of a lot of dustification. Alright, I'm excited to dive right back into it. So last time we were looking at the redstone that powers the shop. Looks like got one card still active, and yeah, how it all works, how the frost embers get dispensed right here, what makes this door open, and then the logic that controls which cards pop up, as well as how to pay for them. So let's go down here and dive into more of this redstone. So let's see, I'm just gonna, for my own benefit, I'm just gonna recap what we covered. So we've got right here, artifact comes down, it sends pulses through to this clock, which will update the door and get the shop started. The artifact comes through here and dispenses the number of artifacts equivalent to whichever artifact it was. And then those sit in this water stream here until this clock completes its cycle. And then it'll get one pulse for on to put the water bucket in that water stream, then another to turn it off so that the embers shoot up. At the same time, a pulse will be sent over here. One goes to the trapdoor, and then the other goes here, and this will turn on, this will open the or this will make this dispenser happen, which will open the piston door up there. And then this torch turning on right here will activate two chains of events. This one and this one. This one, as we saw, is for the number of cards that are purchased. It'll send a tick, or sorry, send a pulse through here. That'll allocate a number of cards, and this will slowly send different signals through here, through these, I don't know, matrices that'll then send the pulse along to the few different dispensers and stuff over here that'll determine whether a card is available or not in the shop. And then once the card is available, we'll look at that in a minute. The other thing this torch does, this is the torch that sends the pulse to the card enabler. It's also going to send a pulse this way, so let's look at this line. It looks like what this is doing, this is all very compact, so it's kind of confusing, but I think this redstone dust right here is going to activate this block. This repeater will ignore that, but this repeater will take the signal from that block and pass it along this direction up to here. And this is just a super simple thing. This is going to toggle the shop on. That's all this line is doing. When the shop is on, this piece of redstone dust right here will go here, and then all of this redstone will be lit up for as long as the shop is on, and then this line of redstone here will eventually shut it off, which will disable all of this redstone and make some other things happen. So this controls the state of the shop, so I should figure out a color of wool for that. Let's do, we can do red. Red will be the state of the shop. So we'll do replace red wool. Okay. Ooh. We're going to replace all this with red wool just to kind of monitor the state of the shop. Might as well just do all of those. This block is important. That's the reset line, which... Trying to think if that should be a different thing or not. Here's the thing, when this turns on, does it reset the shop when it turns on or when it turns off? Well, let's look. This comparator will turn on when the shop is on. And so these blocks aren't doing anything. It's just holding the dispenser up. Let's see. So that goes, this comparator goes into this block and powers it. These repeaters take that power and pass it through to other things. So this is going to go along here. I think that will power this piston, but that doesn't matter yet. Sorry, I'm just looking to see if there's a delay on when the door is opened. Oh, I didn't put this as part of the coin converter, but I think it is part of the coin to crown conversion system. These hoppers and that comparator channels how quick or fast things are drawn out of there. So we'll look at that again in a minute. Let's see here. These blocks. I'm just trying to decide if these blocks should be red or a different color. Maybe this should stay gray as part of the door pulse. Just to keep it separate. I don't know. Anyway, when that turns on, it's going to send a signal down this way into this repeater, which will power this block, which will power this redstone, which then powers this pulse extender. So the pulse that it gets, it's going to remain on for as long as this remains on. So while that remains on, this pulse extender is not going to decay at all. It's when this turns off that you're going to start getting a decay, right? And so this will... For as long as that's got a signal, this will undo all of these. Is that... Oh, interesting. This is like a... So this torch right here is an AND gate. That's why this redstone dust is going up here. So this, as long as this is on, this torch will be unpowered. But if this block is powered right here, then that redstone will also be powered. So right now this redstone is only being powered by this torch, which is why that is 15 and that's 11. But if this repeater were on, then I think this would also be 15 because this block would power that redstone, that dust. And as long as something is powering this redstone, that torch is going to be off. So, yeah, this, when this block gets unpowered, it will no longer be powering that redstone. And then as long as this pulse extender is on, this torch will be unpowered, which means the redstone will be unpowered from both sides. This will turn on and it'll reset the shop. So this this is kind of related to state reset. No, I'd say it is. And then this gets turned off. Okay. For as long as this is on, this stuff will be off. And so while this is off, well, actually this doesn't make a difference because that's not going to lock anything. But it'll be off, and then when this pulse dies, when it decays down to 0 again, then this is going to turn on. And when it turns on, everything that's inside of this will drop its item into the other item. So that basically deactivates all of the cards on the reset. And then it also... Okay, yeah, this is interesting. So what it will also do is it will dispense... When that turns... So when the pulse extender is on, this line will be off, and then it'll turn on again when the shop resets, which will send out one of each of these different card selector nuggets to go into this to select cards. And then since the pulse extender has a little while that it goes, I think that gives this time to trigger this dispenser enough that this gets emptied, basically. And then when the pulse extender turns off, boom, this gets ticked once, and then this just gets one of each of those nugget card selectors. And it'll never have duplicates because it gets fired so many times that it's just going to get emptied out before it gets the new nuggets. Okay, so this is all part of a reset line. This is all just managing the state of the game. That was much easier to figure out than I thought it was going to be. I guess we'll make that. You know, I think the state of the game upstairs is in purple, so maybe we'll switch to purple. There. Alright, so we'll make all of this pulse extender logic and everything purple. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Oops. Okay, so we've got all of that. And then I think yeah, this should be purple because this is going to reset the cards on this side. And then I think all that happens to reset these, another part of the reset line is going to be these hoppers, which will also get, these will be, all of the receiving hoppers will be locked when the game is on. And so as crowns are filtering through, these 40 iron nuggets are getting pushed to here, and they can't leave there because this redstone will be on, blocking this hopper, which will make it so you can't buy 5 victory tomes until 40 items have passed from this hopper to this hopper. And then they'll stay there until this turns off. Once this turns off, because the shop is reset, they'll all flow back, and then everything will be reset again. And then, of course, these comparators will power this block, which will unpower this torch, which will then power this torch, which extends all of this, and you've got the armor stand up again, ready to accept more frost embers. Redstone is not that complicated when you break it down into its smaller components. Am I saying I could build this? No. No, this is genius, but can I understand it? A little. With a lot of effort. Yes. Maybe. Okay, so those are reset lines. So then over here, this part of the reset line too is will reset the card pickers. Don't think that block needs to be there, but it doesn't matter. And then so this will pulse over and over for as long as that pulse extender is on. I'm doing all of these. As soon as that pulse extender turns off, that's when the so yeah, so this'll keep triggering until the pulse extender turns off. Once it does turn off, then we'll get 1 nugget from each of these dispensers. Effectively resetting the shop. So that system, I'm thinking about bedrock, and I feel like most things in this system would work just fine for bedrock. I think the one place where I'd have questions is just with the observer clock, if it would be fast enough to empty it before the pulse turns off. Just because I think those are a little slower on bedrock, but thinking through it, I'm pretty sure it would be fast enough to do that, to empty it before. Like if it's running as long as that pulse extender over there is on, then it should have enough time to empty this dispenser dropper before these get dispensed, because it's only got to pulse like 7 or 8 times. And so if the pulse extender is on for this long, I mean, all you'd have to do if it doesn't work is extend this with a couple more comparators, and then it should work. Let's see, that glass doesn't really need to be there, but I guess we'll leave it. Alright, so that... I don't know why Minecraft has trouble with stained glass. And then transparent blocks behind the stained glass. It does this with like honey blocks and different stuff. But yeah. Okay. So actually, let me go back and think about bedrock for each of these. I don't think there's anything here that is Java exclusive. I mean, I assume the one thing I guess is hopper timing. Like when an item gets sucked down a hopper, like if an item ended up here before it went down into the hopper below it, would this comparator turn on or not? I don't know the answer to that. I know things are slower, which would also affect this timing over here. And then obviously the custom audio is another big issue. But I think that's possible to solve with data packs, maybe. Other than that, I don't think there's anything here that would necessarily not work in Bedrock. The piston door would have to be a different design. I don't know where it is, right here, the piston door. Just because the way pistons work and the spitting out of blocks and everything, like, it just works different in Java than it does in Bedrock. There's a lot of things better about Java pistons than Bedrock pistons, but oh well. This is still part of the door, isn't it? This is almost surely, yeah, this is all part of the door. Is that the ceiling? That is the ceiling, so I can't change those blocks because they're part of the ceiling. Right? Yeah. However, these quartz blocks can become gray wool. Different spellings of gray. Always nice. Let's see. And then this block. I actually don't know about that block. It's next to a piston though, so I assume... Yeah, I think that gets powered by this redstone dust, which then powers that piston and everything. Piston doors kind of blow my mind. Okay, all of this redstone here I think is part of the old crown shop converter. Oh no, this is the iron nuggets that are there for the redstone door. Oh, so I guess this can be gray stained glass. Just for consistency. How does this get powered? Yeah, okay, this really seems like it's part of the old crown conversion system, so maybe I rip this out. Because it's no longer helpful. Nope. Again, I keep getting confused. This is getting powered by that torch and not by any of this. What are these though? These are probably also part of the piston door. What? How? That powers... That redstone dust powers this, which powers this dropper, and then this dropper has a comparator that... Wait, is this comparator what's powering the piston door? Are there two different parts to this that are getting powered at the same time? And that's why there's a delay, it's all just timing. Because they gotta connect somehow. I guess that makes sense. But why doesn't this one have a toggle like that other one does? Oh, mysteries on mysteries. Yeah. Oh, that was not what I wanted. There we go. This comparator here goes into that block. That torch is not connected. Which goes into this target block, which then powers that hopper. Yeah, and this is an item filter. These are crowns. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to the reset line. Looks like I didn't finish this. I guess not the reset line, the game state line. Yeah, I'll recolor this. I like this button just on the underside of the quartz that was just there to either test or just manually do some work. Okay. Now this is part of the coin converter, the new coin converter. So you've just got some items cycling around in here. I think there are 3 of them for 4 hoppers, and so just every few ticks this will pulse off, allowing an item to pass through here. It's basically just like a fast hopper clock that never stops. And that'll allow items to pass through here at a regular pace. There's a glitch with the coin to crown converter. And I think what's happening is just if there's a coin passing through here at the same time as this is on and this stays on for at least a few hopper ticks, like it's got to stay on for as long as it takes to empty these 4 stone from this hopper back into this dropper. So it stays on for a relatively long time, and for as long as that's on, you're going to be getting a pulse through here. So if while that's on, a crown comes through, then both of them are going to be powering these, and you're only going to get 1 pulse in the end. And I think the way you fix that is you just have some kind of pulse extender coming off of here, locking the output, and then you wait to send the outputs until you're sure that nothing is left coming through here. And then you just store the outputs. I mean, it would basically be copying what's going on over here, except you wouldn't need such a big delay between the outputs. You just need to make sure that they all get sent up eventually. Okay, I did see briefly this. What is this? So what we've got here, when this block gets powered, the redstone right here will get powered, which will power this line here that kind of snakes around and down. And then what does that do? What is this? Oh, okay. When the shop turns on, yeah, it looks like this block gets extended there, which... what would that do? Oh, okay. Okay, so this... Interesting. So what happens is, when the shop turns on, or I guess just while the shop is in the on state, this will allow pulses to pass through when cards get revealed. So basically the on signal will pass through all of this redstone into this block here. And this block here, when it gets pushed over, will allow a signal from this observer when it's pushed over by the sticky piston to pass through this block into these. Otherwise, whenever a card gets shown, when the system is resetting, so yeah, when this is off and that's retracted, every time a card gets drawn, so to speak, this will extend and it'll send a pulse and it'll try to pulse these note blocks here, but it won't work because there's no block here to pass the signal through. And then these, or actually it'll, sorry, that's not what's going to happen. The block will send the signal up, I think, to this piston, which will then move this redstone block back and forth with a quick pulse, because this will send a 1-tick pulse, so it'll either spit it out here or pull it back over here. And then every time those happen, you'll get a card reveal sound. And that should be it. I think that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me, I just don't know if my explanation made sense. And then we'll see much the same thing over here. This block will power a piston, which will push this block somewhere where the observer can push it over every time a card is revealed. And so this gets powered. This is still part of the green card revealer system. When the block above it, I guess, is powered. I didn't think those get powered by repeaters. Time to investigate. Okay, this is how it looks. A little dustification there. Yeah, that does not get powered by a repeater, but that also doesn't. So where is it getting power from? It might be, well, let's check something. So if this block if this block gets hard powered, that will send a pulse, or that'll turn this block on, or this redstone dust on, but not that one. So that's what I thought might be going on here. Where does that get its signal from? Oh, this is next to that block, not below it. So maybe that's it. Oh no, this is next to that block. Yeah, no, that's gonna cut power from going through there. Did I mess this up? Was this not a solid block before? Because if this was glass, or half slab, then the signal could pass through to here, and that might have been my mistake. I'm gonna make a note of that and go check for next time. Let's see, I need to check. Card wheel line in the shop. Okay. Alright, other than that, I think pretty much figured this out. The water lines. Let's see, one over here. Oh no, not that one. Where's the other water line? There's a couple that go through to the... They all converge right here. So this one comes from, I'm pretty sure, the Art of Fakes. Yeah, the Art of Fake is somewhere here. Right here. It drops through here, goes into this water stream there. Drops down this tube and then joins the water stream, and this is the water stream that right here will go up and around ends to the player's barrel. There's another water stream here. I actually don't know where this one goes. Oh, this one, this is the Art of Fake water line. Interesting, it crisscrosses right there, and then it comes from over here from this side of the artifact line where the artifacts get spit out when that dust turns on from the item filter. Okay. I think the last thing to look at is the reset line. So when the player is done let's see, I'll be right back. Okay. When they're done converting their crowns and coins and everything with their run, they'll drop down here and trigger a tripwire right there that this observer is looking at. And then that will send a... for one, it'll send a... an iron nugget from this dropper that we just saw through this cobweb right here, and that'll take a while for it to pass through. Once it does, it goes onto this pressure plate that you can only kind of see. Let me do a night vision potion. There we go. So this pressure plate will turn on down here, and then this will basically stay on for 5 minutes and pulse. I don't think anything's in these droppers. Oh, what it'll do, it'll set off these mine carts. Because these blocks will activate, which activates the powered rails here. So the mine carts will go back and forth and try to pick up everything from the death room, and then they will, the stuff will filter down this hopper line until it gets into these. Are these item filters? These are item filters for cards. I don't know how cards would get down here, but crowns, and this probably used to send. Yeah, this maybe it still does. It sends crown signals up. If a player dies with a crown in their inventory, it'll send a crown up. apparently whatever this was got disabled. And then everything else will flow through to these chests. So any leftover armor, pork chops, and then just random junk that got picked up, as well as berries, basalt, some dungeon master coupons and keys, and quite a few beards. That's kind of fun. And yeah, different items. Yeah. Is that Yuka's head? Okay. Yeah. One very important piece of redstone is right here. This button will power this redstone line here, which does a pulse extender into a very long pulse extender, which will then open this door and turn on this light. Interesting. And then of course... Oh, I didn't realize this room was shaped like that. It's kind of an L shape. Interesting, so like, getting there is supposed to be really difficult. That makes sense. Anyway. Back up to the shop. Okay, I think that now covers everything in the shop. Oh wait, no. We were still looking at the reset line. Reset line does two other things. It just plays this taunt. I don't know if anyone else has heard it, but when you finish and you go down into the death room, it just sounds like Tango going, ha ha ha. Just kind of menacingly. And so it'll play that taunt real quick, and then it will also turn the shop off. So I guess we'll make this black wool. For no good reason. And then I guess I won't colorize the stuff down in the death room since there are so few systems to keep separate. It's basically just this controls the mine carts and the and then that pulses these dispensers so that things get pushed along here and sent up to, where do they get sent actually? Be interested to find out. So this is if there are extra cards left that people brought in. They get sent into this water stream, which then gets sent into a bubble column. This must go into... That's the bubble column we were following. And this goes to the barrel. So I guess if you happens to bring in one of those cards that was in those item filters, or yeah, something, or crowns, then they should get sent up. I'm not sure. Do you then get double crowns? Because it seems like it's also sending a pulse up. I don't know. I think I'm lost. Go in here and find Tango's room. This is the... Is this the heart? This is the heart. So Tango's room is there somewhere. What is that? Oh, this is the back of Tango's sorting system, which means that the shop is just down here. Cool. I think that wraps it up for the shop today, and you know what, that may be all I do for today. This... Oh, I guess I didn't cover this. This is the tomes, and basically once you've purchased tomes, these different systems will just make sure that the correct number of tomes get dispensed out of these different dispensers. So this one will dispense 1 tome, just because this redstone block will extend, and then 1 tome will be dispensed. This one, I think, dispenses 3 tomes, so there's just some logic here that let's see. Let's just figure this out real quick. This piston will extend, which will turn that on for a moment, and then this repeater will turn on and stay on for 4 ticks. Which I feel like would only pulse this twice, but maybe there's another way that it'll pulse it another time. Oh, there's also this observer here. No, that's sending its signal up, not down. Anyway, there must be some way that it sends 3 signals, so 3 tomes get dispensed, but I'm not seeing it right now. And then similarly, this one, it looks like something like 2, 6, 8. So this will get pulsed for 8. So maybe as soon as it extends, that'll be the first tick, and then that'll pulse it once, and then it'll go back and forth, and it'll pulse 2 more times. Whereas this one, since there's a total of 8, it seems like these will take 4 times, but maybe there's an initial single pulse, so in total it'll be 5. And yeah, and that's the tomes. Maybe we just colorize these real quick. Let me think about yet another color. How about dark blue? Yeah, that seems fitting. Okay. There we go. That's it for the shop. Oh. Yeah. There we go, all of the different systems colorized. I guess I could dig out a bunch of this stuff and kind of expose it so you can see it all at once, but we've flown around here enough that I think it makes sense. Cool. So that's it for today. I will do another stream next week at 2. Tune in if you feel like it. We'll probably look at another system. Maybe I'll pick another system before I stop this stream. Let's see, what's the next most interesting system to me? We could look at the crown shop since it's very similar. just get that over with. Just has a lot less complicated stuff about picking which things are happening. Game state display is pretty easy, hopefully, to understand. I haven't really looked that much into it, but that's just a guess. Maybe the map. I don't know. It'll either be the crown shop or the map, just whatever I'm feeling on the day. So yeah. Until next time.